4A, we got a couple of sectional championship games this week. We'll start with Northridge at Leo. I got to tell you, Northridge last week.
They're no joke, man.
They are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, they are.
51-6 at Kendallville. Boy, what do you see in this one that Leo can do against this good team? And I'm not sliding Leo,
right?
But this is going to be a tough test.
Well, you know, obviously you're going to have to score points against Northridge to beat them. They've only given up a little over 20 points in their wins this year total. They had a 2-game stretch in the middle of the season against Warsaw and Plymouth, where they kind of struggled defensively in 2 losses. But other than that, I mean, this defense is phenomenal. They come out and they run it 41 straight times to begin the game against East Noble last week. Everybody knew what they were going to do, and you couldn't stop it. And that's the big thing. I think, you know, forcing Northridge into a shootout helps. I mean, you're going to have to stop them. You're going to have to score points against that defense. Better said than done. Easier said than done. So, you know, I don't know. I think the vertical game is important. East Noble showed a little bit of cracks in that back end of the Northridge defense if you can attack that back part in the secondary, but that's kind of easier said than done in high school football when weather could be a factor in November.
You take a look at Leo. They have had to go on the road the first of the 2 weeks. Arguably one of the tougher first 2 weeks we've seen for our local teams, you know, with a win at Wabasee, a close one, and then they doubled up Northwood last week. So they are tested in this postseason, finally get a game at home. How much does that matter to Leo?
You know, I asked Coach Souter about it yesterday, and he said, you know, not really as much as a lot of people think. These are high school kids, and, you know, if anything, it's a routine thing. You know, obviously they don't have to get on a bus and go. And he said, you know, both of those trips, too, were a good hour and a half, 2 hours, too. It wasn't a short trip down the road either. So he says, while it is beneficial, I really don't think we really gain anything by going on the road and winning 2 tough games. But at the same time, it's nice that you don't have to pile into some buses and sit on the bus for a couple hours.
Defensively, as you mentioned before, you know what Northridge is going to do with the football when they've got it. Leo, what are they going to have to do defensively? I mean, does it just simply come down to them stopping the run, toughening it up, maybe putting 8 guys in the box?
Yeah, it does. You know, you look at their running backs, Northridge, Cam Riddenauer, Travis Schlebach are really powerful runners. They just don't go down on first contact. They keep their legs moving. I mean, you know, East Noble was hitting them right around the line of scrimmage a lot of times, but that extra push, and Northridge really uses their offensive linemen to kind of get behind their runners and push them as well and get those extra yardage. You know, Peyton Carson, too, a quarterback, he's a threat to run. A lot of read option up the middle with him, tore up East Noble last week. So it's a multi-dimensional offense in terms of that has a lot of guys that can carry the ball. But Northridge, I think if you force them into second and longs, third and longs, force them to go vertical, then that really doesn't fit what they like to do.
Now, this will be the first meeting between these 2 programs since 1986.
We all remember how that went.
Yeah, of course. I was 7.